sorrowful moment at the Burma Camp Military Cemetery in Accra when the body of Imoro Sheriff was brought in from the 37 Military Hospital mortuary. The 21-year-old Imoro was a young soldier who was found dead in a pool of blood near the Armania Hotel in Ashaiman. Though he was carrying a laptop and other electronic gadgets, the attackers made away with only his iPhone. After the gruesome murder of the young soldier, followed the invasion of some heavily armed soldiers in the area at dawn on Tuesday, March 7. According to the Ghana Armed Forces, the swoop its officers conducted at Ashaiman was not to avenge the killing of the soldier, but rather to fish out the perpetrators of the heinous crime. However, as a Muslim, Imoro was on March 9 laid to rest. His remains were transported from the 37 Military Hospital mortuary to the Burma Camp Military Cemetery, where the final funeral rites were performed. Abdul Rahman Ahmed is uncle to the deceased. He says the incident came to him as a shock. He further refuted reports that Imoro was murdered when he went to visit his girlfriend at Taifa.
Our son was coming from work home and then he met this incident. We didn't take it easy. Didn't take it easy at all. So on the process, we went to the police station to do official report. And then the military also came to us at home. He went to the girl, not her girlfriend. It's a friend. They are playmates. They all play trumpet. But unfortunately, he left there late. So on his way coming home, that's where he was attacked. I learned they were struggling with him. He was holding an iPhone. So the iPhone was their target. But what is in the bag, they don't know. So when they succeeded the iPhone, then they ran away.
The police are currently investigating the circumstances under which the soldier was killed and are appealing for information from the public. But friends and families who came to pay their last respect to the deceased expressed some fond memories they had with him.
Imoro was a good boy. He took the Ashaiman Cadets Band to the nationals and regionals, all that. He was very good in playing the trumpet. He loved trumpets. He ate trumpets. He even followed me to play other bands outside school and all that. So I think 3 days before his death, he called he will be joining the Akosomo Methodist Brigade Band to Independence Day in Akosomo. But Saturday morning we heard the news he had passed on.
Justice must be done. Yes, whatever it is, they need to find the one who did that, and so that at least we all be happy for the boy. Yeah.
Family and friends of Imoro are asking for justice to be served. But the question also is what happened in Ashaiman is what a lot of people are also talking about. How the military also went into Ashaiman to arrest some of the residents there and the aftermath of whatever happened in the area. Well, some say 48 or 72 hours after the incident, The president hasn't still spoken about it. Amnesty International is concerned about the president's silence. And also the MP for Norton is also concerned about the president's silence. What do you make of it?
Philip, it's sad watching the scenes from the burial of the late soldier yesterday on CNR. I was nearly moved to tears. Very heart-wrenching stuff. And I've always said that, you see, democracy, living in a democracy should not be a blood sport, really. I mean, democracy should be a principled enterprise where there's respect for one another and, of course, respect for authority. And I'm referring to the death of the late soldier. So it's quite sad. And on the part of the actions of the soldiers in the aftermath of the young soldiers' loss of life, him losing his life, I mean, Philip, you don't break the law in an attempt to fix the law, right? So the soldiers, in my view, were wrong on all fronts. Very unfortunate. It's sad that it's happened. And yesterday, when we had the State of the Nation address coverage, I told you in the studio that, see, I was very disappointed in the president that he didn't touch on it. You see, as for him, he plays a dual role.
Don't you think the president is still gathering some more information
No,
before he
I
can
mean,
speak on this
as
issue?
Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, in the first place, one of your own has been killed. So what do? You sympathize with the family. And it didn't necessarily have to be a paragraph. It could have just been a one-liner. And of course, you'd also condemn the actions of the military, because we've said that the actions of the military remind us of a dark past in this country's history where we don't want to go to again. Listen to some of the senior citizens in this country talk about what it meant to live under military dictatorship. It's nothing to entertain in the first place. So for me, it's unfortunate. I've said in the past that we've reached this position because of what I personally call a permission structure. So 2 years ago, a soldier's phone was stolen in Wa, and soldiers were unleashed, went rampage. That's jungle living, really. Look at what happened in Parliament. And I've said, if what happened in Parliament on the night of 7th January 2021, you take your mind back to it. If you saw the scenes that happened in Parliament, you won't be surprised at what you saw in Ashaiman. Mind you, these soldiers in the night in Parliament, in the chamber that night, were holding guns, facing off with the minority, the NDC caucus at the time. And now we are seeing this. So for me, an Idra, Techiman South Coalition Center, where live bullets were being fired. So it's become like a permission structure, because we condemned and didn't make sure that we had proper resolutions on that at the time. Now it's like free for all. So we don't build countries like that. And I want to end my point by saying that personally, I'm disappointed the president hasn't spoken on it. I expect him to, as soon as possible, speak on the issue, because we've seen him speak on issues that, didn't even have this national appeal. And finally, you are saying you are giving a State of a Nation address, really, when the nights before or the dawn before, the military were on rampage. What else was the State of the Nation at the time, when it was so obvious that the public angst, really, at the time, and the State of the Nation at the time was that of public angst against the military? So, it's quite unfortunate.
A lot of people are expecting the